Hey, how's it going? So, just in case you're new here, hello. My name is David, and I've been running this channel, Worldbuilding Films, where I review the world building of films and TV shows. I've been at it for 4 years now, and I have a bit of an announcement to make. This is something I've been thinking long and hard for quite some time now, but unfortunately I have to be objective about this. So I'm really sorry for the bad news, and it's frustrating even for me to say this, but unfortunately YouTube just isn't working anymore. At least not for me. I'm completely burnt out, and at least for now, I'm going to pause on making videos. Now, with that said, if I have to do this, I don't want to just disappear. I want to take the opportunity to be as honest and constructive as possible, to clarify some things, and to bring to light what my experience has been here on the platform. Because there's a lot to say, especially for newcomers. So bear with me if you can, and apologies in advance for the long ramble I'm about to do here, but we need to have an honest discussion. And I mean it. While I will be pointing out my experience here on YouTube, I don't want to sound like I'm whining. My intent with this video is to show that there definitely is something happening right now. So, let's get into it. Also, real quick, ignore this, it's just a temporary location. So, in short, I think that YouTube as a platform is just starting to not work anymore in general. It's dying. Or at least it's changing to the point that it's now being impractical to be a content creator. Now, I should be fair and say that I myself have made plenty of mistakes on this channel. I'm not ashamed to admit that. The initial thumbnails weren't the best, even if I did change them. I had to learn the ways of the algorithm over time. And I admit, I had a hard time keeping a schedule and staying on trend. Though, put a pin on that one for later. So, I definitely have my fair share to blame on some stuff, and it's very important to admit that. Even if by now I have improved a lot. But even then, some things still don't add up. True, scheduling was hard, but my videos also took a really long time to make, and I've been working completely alone. I do my own research, the writing, the setup, simple as this one may be, the recording, the editing, which takes forever, the illustrations, just everything all by myself, because I just couldn't afford to have a team of people. So I expected it would have taken a while for this channel to gain some momentum, and I was willing to accept that. And for a while, even if it did seem like quite the challenge, I did see that there was a very, very slight growth. So I just kept going. This was until around early 2025, where I think my videos were finally starting to slowly take off, especially at the end of my last Airbender world building reviews. However, from there, something happened. After having collected a fair bit of subscribers, a while later, I published my Treasure Planet worldbuilding review, which I know has a strong fan base, and yet, despite the good thumbnail, despite the upward trend of the channel, despite everything, it fell flat. Barely a few hundred people at the time saw it. That was concerning, but I continued on. Maybe it was a one-time fluke. I was also busy promoting my book at the time, even in multiple languages. Check it out if you can, by the way. But then, I also did my How to Train Your Dragon world building videos, deciding to split it into smaller chunks so that I could keep a consistent schedule and actually be on trend for once, in preparation with a live action version that was coming out. And guess what? I did it! I was actually on schedule and on trend for the first time, and it was a big trend. And it made no difference whatsoever. In fact, they underperformed. I later did my Minority Report world building reviews in the same way, and had even fewer results. Yeah, I get it wasn't on trend or whatever, but geez. So what the hell is this? You might think that maybe I need to branch out to other platforms, but I did. I posted shorts here on Instagram as well as on TikTok. And in fairness, Instagram was the thing that worked the most and the fastest, but then it just stopped, and even then, its main success was just for 2 posts, and it was all to redirect towards this channel, which I don't think did happen much anyway. So, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong, or maybe I should have continued. And in fairness, I hate TikTok almost as much as I hate Twitter/X, so that probably didn't help, but I did do it, and I just wasn't seeing the results that I was hoping for. And hey, by all means, it is also true that world building is a very niche genre. So, ever since last year, I decided to branch out and just do some more topical videos. For example, just doing more general reviews of movies and shows as they were coming out, and this time, definitely do them on schedule. And honestly, nothing came out of them. They performed worse than my actual reviews that were off trend. I once considered doing a trailer reaction for the first live-action How to Train Your Dragon teaser, and to my surprise, that one did shockingly well, with about 6,000 views at the time, which by all means might not seem like a lot, but back then it was huge. I thought to myself, oh wait, maybe everyone is right. Maybe I really should do more topical and trendy stuff. Maybe trailer reactions are the thing I'm supposed to do. And I did. But the more I did it, the absolute worse those reactions went, until they almost zeroed out by comparison. So, what is this? Was it a one-hit wonder? Because all it did was make me feel like I was given a crumb of hope just to have the rug pulled away from under me. I felt like I was being dicked around with, and it sucked. Not even changing format on the channel has helped, and I went through quite the process. From being fully animated, to going live action, to trying different lengths of videos, to splitting the videos into smaller chunks, and yeah, I experimented quite a bit to say the least. To this day, the only thing that worked was making my Harry Potter Worldbuilding compilation, which I'm definitely grateful for, don't get me wrong, but even then it's just about a dozen views at a time, if I'm lucky. I can't even tell if that's a lot or not, because it's the only decent standard I have. So, I don't know, is it? Because it's hard to tell from the point of view of rock bottom. And my James Cameron Avatar compilation certainly didn't do the same so far, so what the hell am I supposed to think of that? I don't know, but look forward to more compilations in the future, I guess, just in case. And again, I know, I had a hard time keeping a schedule and staying on trend, but while that definitely is a factor, I also saw other YouTubers that weren't being on trend, and yet their videos were doing perfectly fine. And they had around the same number of subscribers that I had. I'm not complaining to them specifically, by the way, but while I get that each channel is different, what gives? I was concerned that I was actually doing something wrong, until I found out that I wasn't. During the course of these past 2 years, many major content creators either left with shockingly good timing, or were being very outspoken on the fact that they were seeing sudden drops as well. And yes, I heard people say that it's probably a specific channel that has just been losing fans, which is always possible, sure, but regardless of what you think of them, which is not the point of this video, when it's happening to everyone, then it's a pattern. This happened especially around August when there was a major shift in the algorithm, and everyone has been complaining, seeing their views suddenly drop out of the blue. Especially when a lot of these channels have hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers, and if you look at their timeline, their views have genuinely dropped lately, averaging from hundreds of thousands of views or more to suddenly dozens of thousands. Yeah, this really is a pattern. For those who don't know, some of these changes include finding out that, for example, YouTube has arbitrarily turned on the restricted mode on many people's accounts, ensuring that many videos will be hidden without the owners of those accounts being aware of this. So yeah, I don't know, check if the same applied to you just in case, because it coincides almost exactly with many videos just not popping out on anyone's feeds. Then there was an update where you needed to actually prove to be an adult by submitting your own damn ID to watch YouTube in full, so as to ensure that minors wouldn't be exposed to certain content. But it turns out it might have just been a ploy to restrict content creators even more. Or at least that's certainly what most people have been saying. By the way, real quick, when you see big corporations or governments suddenly switch to
"Won't somebody please think of the children?"
it's usually just an excuse, so don't fall for it. Furthermore, have you been noticing that there has been a sudden uprise in videos being fed to your homepage that barely have a few hundred views each? Well, that's actually because YouTubers don't actually earn anything on the platform unless they reach 1,000 subscribers first. But ads are still running. So, if you have under 1,000 subscribers and ads are still running, all of that ad revenue goes to YouTube exclusively and they don't have to share anything. Thus, it seems like YouTube is lifting smaller channels up to that point and then submerging bigger channels just so they can get the most profit out of each of them without paying them properly. Yeah, they said it's to give smaller creators a chance, which would be fair, but if that's your threshold, then it becomes suspicious. I myself have noticed this, where it was hard but feasible to reach the 1,000 subscriber mark, but from there, things just plateaued and then dropped. Oh, and that's not mentioning that YouTube has been TikTokified to death, where now your attention is stolen by shorts, which are a completely different kind of monetization that isn't added to your main videos. And the fact that it seems YouTube is apparently pushing channels and videos that actually have loads of money behind them, all to try and compete with Hollywood as a whole, which means that all the smaller or even medium content creators that made this platform what it was are being left behind. Seems like the middle class is slowly disappearing here as well. Yay. And finally, the big one. AI officially being used in the algorithm. Now, having subscribers doesn't mean anything at all. Once upon a time, you subscribed to someone because you wanted to see more of their content specifically, follow what they kept making, and the algorithm would find a way to fish out other similar content for you. Now it's all AI based, and it's the AI that pushes things to you, even if it's not in your interests or niche. And the channels that you did subscribe to end up being buried underground. Many creators have pointed out that their own subscribers were wondering what happened to them. And instead it turns out that they were still working, just hidden away from their own subscribers. All of that just so you can be fed AI slop, which is now a whole other thing and problem that's stealing views. And regular creators definitely can't compete with that pace either. These are among the many reasons why things have been changing on this platform, and it's honestly just going downhill. Honestly, like every other platform for that matter. Which is disconcerting, but that's the world we live in now. And all I know is YouTube just isn't working. I feel we're going to look back to 2025 and realize that's the year in which YouTube was dying. It's one thing to have competition with other channels, it's the name of the game, fine. But this is another game entirely, and no one was told that the rules had changed. Now, with all of that said, I also want to be fair and play devil's advocate. Because yes, it is tempting to just blame someone else, but I know that it's not only not the best mentality to have, but it stops you from seeing the possible bigger picture, and it's the difference between
what is right and what is easy.
And I don't want to fall into that trap. So, while I don't have concrete proof of this myself, I have the weird feeling that all of this was sort of inevitable. If I was YouTube, I'd know I'd go from having initially thousands of content creators to years later having between 60 to 70 million of them, each publishing all sorts of stuff every day and every hour. All of that compared to around 2 billion people just viewing the platform. This means that every year, more and more people are joining to create content, but there are less and less people to actually view it. A competition that is just slowly eating itself. Adding to that is the issue of regular jobs not paying as much nowadays, so people need to work more, and if they work more, they have less time to watch anything, much less YouTube. And then on top of that, the fact that society is so burnt out from the TikTokification of everything, that at best they're stuck in those other apps, and at worst it's so bad that we're seeing a rise in people abandoning social media in general. Which, to be fair, is actually a good thing, and I'd rather have our collective attention spans being given back to us. But at the same time, I do realize that this means that it comes with a sacrifice. And that sacrifice has been us who have been trying to make some good stuff. Okay, so that was me playing devil's advocate. I will cut YouTube some slack on some aspects. Even the Pareto distribution wouldn't have lasted forever here. It's not black and white, the bigger picture is more complicated. And even if it's worse than it should have been, the platform might have been seeing its downfall around now anyway. Now, I know I'm rambling, and I apologize for all of that, but this does mean that it is hard to have an upward look at all of this. And I'd rather be honest and say that I myself have been struggling to stay positive. And if you've seen my videos on this channel, you know I put in as much effort as I can to guarantee the highest quality possible. And I know that my videos, theories, and ideas are good. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but if I may say so, I've grown quite proud of the videos that I've made here, and I recognize their quality, especially as I got better over time. But if they aren't going to be seen, then what the hell am I doing this for? Like, let's be real here. Aside from passion, people are trying to make an actual living off of this too, and there's nothing wrong with that. I myself like doing it. And sure, maybe I could decide to do 1 or 2 reviews per year without having to worry about algorithms anymore, just for fun. We'll see. I don't want to make any promises. But not if I have to slave away and constantly worry emptily with nothing to show for it. And there isn't even a proper alternative to YouTube, at least not for now. And hey, if my videos suck, that'd be one thing, I'd take it, but that's not the case. The system that has been put in place on this website now just isn't meritocratic anymore. And I can't keep relying on sheer dumb luck. All I know is that I'm tired. There's just no incentive or motivation anymore. I feel like I'm running on an empty tank. After 4 years of making these videos through thick and thin, I feel burnt out. Plus, while I'm not using this as an excuse, like everyone else, I've been bogged down by personal stuff on many fronts, especially in the past year or two, and the state of the world isn't exactly helping either. And worst of all, I don't know how to fix this. Because for all the mistakes I might have done and might even still be doing, which is still a possibility, this is weird. I literally had people say on my channel that it's odd that I didn't get more views and subscribers given the quality. Look, I'm a creative person, not a technical one. And while it is important, don't get me wrong, all that stuff is foreign to me and gives me a headache, and creative people shouldn't be faulted for not excelling at literally everything. And maybe I should have just stayed in my lane and offloaded that work to someone else. Which I did. Recently, I just bit the bullet and hired someone else to help improve the metric of some of my videos, just to see what happens. But, again, it did little to nothing. Again, I'll openly admit my faults and limitations, but even then, this doesn't check out. And I'm sorry if it's sounding like I'm being bitter and angry. I'm not actually like that in real life, but in my defense, it's not a pleasant feeling to see the work that you did on your own for 4 years hasn't bore any fruit. It's also easy to fall prey to the mentality that this is all your fault because it feels like that, but I'm realizing it's not the case, and it's not the case for you other content creators out there either. This time, it's not on us. I don't know. To all you other content creators out there, in fact, I ask you this. Have you been having the same experience? Was I wrong about something? Did I do or not do something wrong and I'm actually the one to blame? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'll happily admit if I was wrong, by all means, but this feels too off to be the case. Especially when, again, I know I did some good stuff that should have been popping out more on the platform. Even one-hit wonders don't matter anymore because they're just gonna drop off right after. And all the YouTube gurus out there haven't really worked for me either, and I have been paying a lot of attention to them. This isn't me attacking anyone, just to be clear, and maybe they're actually on the same boat as we are, but it's like they're all saying the same things, and those same damn things aren't working anyway. So unless you're Mr. Beast who can afford to spend $1 million per video, how does one navigate this damn site anymore? What am I missing? I'd love to come back, but not if this is the state of things. It always feels like I'm somehow missing the secret "hit this to become popular" button somewhere on this site, and it makes me feel like an idiot. But even if I was, I can't wrap my mind around this level of not being discovered. At the time of recording this video, I have just about 1,500 subscribers. And to be very clear, I'm very grateful to all of them and all of you, but it doesn't check out that this number isn't higher after 4 years of good work. This isn't worth investing in anymore. Something suspicious is going on, and if it's not the things I already mentioned, then I don't know what it is. And while this is a microcosm of bigger things happening, this is concerning for the future in general, because we can't keep playing guessing games here. Enough's enough. Like, whoever's making the next big YouTube, please hurry, because we really want it. Unless something changes, it's kind of hard to not believe in the dead internet theory now, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm sorry, but For now, I'm going to be stepping down. I have other things to work on anyway. I'm writing on the books, I'm getting into new projects, etc. I'll post some updates here and there though when appropriate, so don't worry, you might still see some stuff. Like I said, I'm not going away entirely, and in fact, I am going to leave this channel as it is. You never know, maybe some newcomers can take benefits from the stuff that I've made so far. And it better not be taken down in the meantime either, considering certain recent developments. And hell, if you want, down below you can still join my Discord server where I will still be active. I'm having loads of fun, nerdy discussions with a lot of people there. So, yeah. I'm sure I have a lot more to say, but I'll stop here for now. I said enough as it is. Apologies again if it's a bit of a bummer video, and if it's sounding like it's first world problems that I'm lamenting about, but for all my faults, I really did try. With all that said, for what it's worth, I do want to take the time to sincerely thank each and every one of you who has subscribed to my channel and has been following me this whole time. It was a great journey, and reading through all of your thoughts and comments was a truly wonderful feeling. I'm really glad I was able to entertain you and spark many ideas based on what you said. And if there is any silver lining, it's that these videos definitely have helped me to think more critically, to be more thorough in my work and research, to slowly build discipline, and to help me get out of my shell. I do owe this site that. I hope you will all be inspired to continue on with your projects, and I definitely hope for everyone's success and for a better future for all of us. Hopefully it'll go better for you. And, I don't know, a bit late now, but for what it's worth, I guess subscribe to my channel if you want to see it have a second chance. I certainly would appreciate it. And for what it's worth, depending on when I release this, happy holidays and happy new year. Here's hoping that 2026 will be a lot better for all of us. Right? Thank you all for listening this whole time, and I definitely hope to have a good reason to see you again in the near future. Catch you next time, and as always, keep building worlds. 'Cause it's all we have left. Take care.